So when Alexander the Great, he became like super sick, he basically called all the healers, all the doctors from across the world, and he was like, look at all these diamonds, look at all these freaking golden coins and rubies. If any one of you guys is able to heal me, I'll basically give you guys this stuff. But what happened is that there's not a single herb, not a single pill, not a single potion was actually able to make his condition better. It actually became worse. So freaking Alexander the Great, man, the most powerful man on earth, he was dying, and he couldn't do a single thing about it to fix it. So when Alexander, he finally realized, he's like, you know what, bro, I think I'm gonna die. He called all the noblemen to the court, and he was like, listen, you guys, I'm actually dying, man. But you know what, I've got 3 wishes, and I want you guys to fulfill them. So first, when I die, I want all the doctors to come and carry my coffin. That's the first thing. Second, I want my pathway that leads to my grave, I want it to be beautified with like gems. I want it to be beautified with diamonds. But then lastly, I want you guys to take my arms, take my hands, and make them dangle out of my coffin. And then he explained, he was like, look, I want my doctors to carry my coffin so that my people know that when the time of death comes, there is not a single earthly healer who can actually come and then prevent it. And I wanted my road to be paved with diamonds and gold so that when people see it, they'll know that despite everything I have, all the wealth that I have, I still can't take it with me. But finally, I want my hands to dangle outside my coffin so that when people see me, when people see that I came to this world with my hands closed, with nothing in them, but when I left this world, I left with my hands open, but with also nothing in them. Here's why I'm telling you all this stuff. Habibi, 2 weeks ago, I was literally about to record a YouTube video on this exact chair right here, but then this guy emailed me saying that he wants to get on a call with me, so I got on the call with him, and then literally like 15 minutes after the call, I made $8,000 in just literally 15 minutes. So I'll explain all the details in another video, but basically the way it works is that it's called ARC. You get a business owner, you book them an appointment with this company here, and this company is going to do this business owner's tax stuff. It's basically them getting back money from the government because of COVID. But depending on how many employees they have, they'll be getting around like $10,000 per employee. So basically this guy had 40 employees. I got on a call with him. I told him, okay, let them do like your paperwork and stuff. And then they did. So 40 employees times 10,000 is like 400,000. So the company keeps 20% and then I keep 2%, which is basically 8,000. The only issue with it is that the money is going to hit your bank account in like 6 months after you make it. So in 6 months from now, I'll basically receive this money. But it doesn't matter regardless. Like $8,000 in just 15 minutes, right after I was supposed to record like a YouTube video, it's beautiful. But in this video, I want to talk about what happened from like the unseen point of view. I'll make a separate video about the business details. But like, even if you know all the business details, if you don't know how to like navigate through the unseen, all that stuff is irrelevant. But look, me, I am not a manifestation guru. I freaking hate those people. Like, okay, I don't hate them, but I just feel like they mislead. Especially when they sit like this and like they start praying for money. Like, it's just so cringe. But the only reason why I use the word manifest in my title is just because it's for the algorithm, but also because this is a mindset video. It's not like a video where I teach you how to do a business. It's a mindset video. But look, if you're a Muslim, everything I'm going to be talking about in this video, you should already know all of it. It's not anything new. It's just the issue is that most of us who are Muslims, bro, we're sitting on gold, but we're just not using this gold. So the very first thing is, look, the knowledge of the afterlife is such an underrated knowledge. It's extremely life-changing. So we're going to be starting with the afterlife because listen, bro, we were never ever supposed to have been struggling in this life for money. We were never supposed to have been like worried about poverty or worried about lack and stuff. But the reason why all that stuff right now is happening right now is because like we've taken this worldly life as something bigger than its own creator. Like, you know how sometimes people talk about like the law of attraction? So there's this other thing that not many people talk about, and it doesn't even have a name, but I'm going to be calling it the law of repulsion. Basically what it says is that the more you chase the dunya, the worldly life, like chasing after money, chasing after cars and all that stuff, like the more you chase after the houses, the more this life is actually going to repel away from you. And you know this and I know this. Like, there's no need to actually come here and prove it scientifically. Like, just think of stuff that happened in your own life. Things that you've always wanted, but you never got. And as soon as you were like, you know what? It's not that important. Then you get it. But do you know why? Like, do you know why it works that way in the first place, man? Do you know why people who have like who struggle so hard for money, who work so hard for money, they always seem to have like little money. And then people who have like, they're just careless about money. They don't care about it as much. They still work for it, but they don't care about it as much. Those are the people that actually get a lot of it. It's because it's almost like the creator of the world, of the money, of you. It's almost like he's trying to tell you, Habibi, What are you doing? You're putting your faith, you're putting your attention, your energy into something that's other than me. You're putting it towards something that only gets its power through me, towards something that can't even exist without me. Like, are you stupid or something? So the more you chase this worldly life, the more it just goes away from you. And our Prophet, peace be upon him, he said that. The more you chase this, the more it goes away. But the more you put your attention on the afterlife, the more this world's gonna come to you. It's literally gonna come crawling to you. Because what happens, bro, what happens is that you've taken this inflated importance within you that you've put on this life, that you've put on money. You've taken this importance and you added it to where it's supposed to belong. So once the importance on money is gone, you'll notice it's much easier to get. And this is the difference between being all serious and stuff, or being sincere and playful. Because in the Quran it says, bro, this worldly life is just enjoyment of empty things. Don't be taking it too seriously. Take it sincerely, but not too seriously. And I know this is hard, like especially as a parent, but just know, like in the Quran it says, bro, the remembrance of your creator is the greatest. So like, how come you now come and start adding thoughts that orbit your mind that are basically around things that make this life seem like it's bigger? Like, look, your mind, bro, your mind 24/7 should just be filled with remembrance of your creator and the afterlife that comes with it. And let me give you a quick drawing just so I can put this in your brain. Look, you see this thing right here? Basically, I'm gonna draw this, it's supposed to be a huge circle. So this is a huge circle, okay? It's a big circle. But basically, in the middle right here, we're gonna put like a little dot, okay? So this is a little dot. Now look, this little dot right here is the worldly life. This entire big circle is the afterlife. So most of us, what we do is that we live our whole life just focusing on this little dot right here. So this little dot right here represents like, oh man, my rent is due like at the end of the month. Or like, oh man, my car got destroyed, I'm so freaking sad about it. Or like, oh man, this and that. And you forget to realize there's like all this like stuff right here that's like waiting for you that you don't even focus about it, because what happens is that the devil uses poverty to scare you. So he literally takes all your awareness, all your attention, and puts it here. So he depletes you from all the energy because all your attention is right here. And this is crazy, because again, but like poverty in of itself, it's a very devilish state. It's a very devilish term. Like if you look at the 99 names of Allah, there's no such thing as like the poverty or like the poor or something. There is the rich one, there's the strong one, nothing about being poor. You were never supposed to have been poor. Like listen, your whole life, you were supposed to always be living in richness, in wealth, in literally abundance. So look, when you're setting goals for yourself, most people are gonna be like, you know what? I want to make at least like maybe 10K a day. Even though that's way too much. They literally think it's way too much. And it might seem like a lot, but like Habibi, that goal in of itself is right here. It's just here. You're forgetting about all the stuff that's like waiting for you. Like compared to what your creator has prepared for you, this is minute. This is so little. It's tiny. So you're actually taking something so small, but you're making it big in your head. And that's the issue. That's the biggest issue. Listen. You wanna shape the mountains? You wanna move the earth? Like literally break the laws of physics? This is what you do. All you have to do, bro, is just set the intention to live for the afterlife. That's it. And you'll notice, you know what Grant Cardone says? He comes in and he's like, 10x. He talks about 10x. It's like whatever your goal is, 10x it. Like the whole point of the 10x is just for you to aim higher. But don't you realize, the afterlife is the highest you can aim for. So why are you aiming for like these small goals? Like what's higher to aim for the afterlife? It's the highest action. So by definition, just having that here at the forefront of your brain is gonna change your whole life. It's actually gonna give you endless energy. You're not gonna be lazy in your whole life anymore. You'll start shooting messages. You'll start taking action. You'll start doing things. You'll start moving, eating healthy, becoming disciplined, leaving all the bad habits. Like tell me, how is that not gonna result in you actually winning? And you have like all these influencers teaching you how, like just to set these limiting goals. Where are you limiting yourself, bro? Like all their stuff that they're teaching is just limiting. It's limiting your nature. This should be an insult to yourself because you're actually limiting your true nature. Your true nature is infinite. Listen, you aim for the afterlife, you're aiming for the greatest thing there is. You're aiming for the pleasure of your creator. Like, tell me, how is that not gonna result in you doing great things, bro? And by the way, for those of you who don't believe in that whole afterlife thing, you don't have to believe, bro. All you have to do is just go outside, look at nature. Just look at nature. That's all you have to do. How is it that in one season, you see a land that's completely dead, and then in another season, this land is back to life? How is it that when you take a seed that by definition is dead, and then when you put it on the ground, it starts creating this beautiful gigantic tree. What I'm trying to say is resurrection happens like literally every single moment of your life. You see it in your eyes. So how is it that the one that created you not able to resurrect you again? You're gonna be resurrected, bro. You look at nature, all the signs are there. They're there for you to know that you're also gonna become resurrected too. Because Habibi, like, you are part of nature. You're not separate from it. And then when you're resurrected, where are you gonna go? To the afterlife, man. But also remember, Habibi, death is not the end. Death is basically a transition. Everything that's living begins with death. It's only with death that life actually starts growing. So if you tell a baby in like a dark womb of a mother, you tell it, hey, look, baby, you know there is like an entire world out there with like mountains and like trees and fruits and oceans and stuff like that. That baby is not gonna believe you. So just like the baby right now, we're also living in a womb called Earth. So we have limited understanding to what's actually coming next. But just like the baby, we're gonna have to leave the womb and we'll have to move to a different reality. So our bodies are gonna die, but the spirit is gonna remain. Like, Habibi, when we're dead, we're not buried. We're planted, and then we're gonna be risen for the afterlife. So it's crazy because the signs, bro, the signs are all around you. And then look at it scientifically too. Energy can be destroyed or created. So when we die, our bodies die, but the spirit remains. Like, the light of life is not gonna be destroyed. It's not destroyed, bro. It's basically transformed. Like, you know how summer is there and then winter comes? Death is basically winter. And just like Rumi said, death is the door to eternal life. Because only through death, you'll actually get to experience immortality. And this is crazy, bro. Like, just keeping this knowledge at the forefront of your brain that the afterlife is actually coming. And by the way, like, everything you'll see in the afterlife is everything that you've seen right now. So the same fruits, the same pleasures, the same everything, except that's unlimited. Unlimited with no negative feelings anymore. No hatred, no poverty, no boredom, nothing like that. It's all just positive, unlimited things. So if we go back to the circle right here, it's crazy because when you're experiencing like the pleasures of this life, all of that is here. Like, just imagine, it's crazy because like this bigger circle is the afterlife. So the pleasure is going to be literally unlimited. But the issue nowadays is that most of us have taken other things as idols in our life. And don't tell me this isn't true, by the way. Everyone actually worships something. Even if you're going to be calling yourself like, no, I'm an atheist and stuff like that. I don't believe in God and all that stuff. You also worship stuff, bro. I'm not saying you're going to things and like you're prostrating and like you're worshiping them like physically and stuff. No, for each and every one of us, we all have things that orbit our minds. We all have things like thoughts that we wake up, we have these thoughts. We go to sleep, we have these thoughts. Thoughts that we always put our energy and our attention towards. Like, that is worship. Don't tell me that's not worship. Because when that thing is gone, you're devastated. And this is a big point, bro. Because this right here is literally the whole point of Islam. The whole point of Islam is that you submit your will to God. You don't submit your will to these other things that you have in your life. Because most of us, bro, like especially when you have like a business, for example. Like when I had my Amazon influencer business and then I lost it, if I had all my thoughts and emotions and attachments attached to this business, when it was gone, I would have been devastated, bro. And especially for poverty, man. Like, most of us have so much attention on the fact that we're lacking. Like, we wake up from sleep and all we're thinking about is just, we're lacking still. Do you know why back in the day, and even to this day, like, Islam is literally like the fastest growing religion? Because, bro, the entire message of it is that you're saying there's no God except Allah, except the Creator. Which means, we're not talking about like gods that you put here and worship. That's not what we're talking about. There's no authority, bro. There's no desire. There's no constitution. There's no nothing that deserves my attention except the Creator. And then once you have that, bro, your whole life changes. Because like, don't you realize all these things are empty? These things don't actually exist. They're empty things. The only thing that's going to remain is the Creator. That's it. And then what's also crazy is that, you know how we have this body, right? So in the Quran, it usually talks about how Allah created the earth and the heavens. Now, if you look at our bodies are basically earthly things. They're things that are made from the earth and they're within the earth. So when someone dies, like, what are they missing? They're just missing a soul in the body. So when the soul is gone, the body is just a body. You don't even call that person like their name. You just call them by their body. The body is from earth, but the soul, bro, the soul is not from earth. This thing comes all the way from the heavens, which is insane because in the Quran it actually says, your rizq, your wealth, it's in the heavens. It's not here. So if you're looking for like your true wealth, you don't look for it here. If you look for it here, you won't find it, bro. But then when you take your attention away from this, from like this life, from this worldly life, and you put it back to the afterlife, and you put it back to the Creator, put it back to like the heavens, that's where your actual wealth is in. And listen, don't tell me it's like, okay, but there's a lot of people who are wealthy, but they never use these things. True, but have you noticed every wealthy person they're very playful with their wealth. They don't take it too serious. They work hard for it. They work very hard and they do everything they're supposed to do, but they don't have the same mentality as like a poor person. A poor person has in their head so much importance on the wealth, but a rich person, they're like, whatever, it's okay. And as a result, they get more wealth. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that this is literally a shortcut to getting that mentality like super fast. And this has been talked about in so many books. In all the books that you read, books that are outside of Islam, you'll see them all. They all talk about how you need to lower the importance towards these things. The more desire you put towards your goal, the more you don't get it. The more it's going to go away because there's so much importance to this thing. Like, Habibi, do you know why I'm making these videos right now? I truly believe, if everyone follows the Quran fully, if they follow like literally every single word fully, there's no more poverty. Poverty, again, is something very devilish. It's something that when you actually connect to the Creator, that stuff doesn't exist anymore. But like, even most of the teachers that nowadays teach the Quran, like they teach it in such a limiting way where they don't realize there's so many hidden treasures within this book. And you know what? Like, even when I made that $8,000, like, bro, when I made that, it wasn't like I was like so ecstatic and happy and stuff like that. I'm just like, yeah, this is how it was supposed to happen. This is not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, it's something amazing and stuff to someone else, but it actually felt normal. It wasn't supposed to feel like it's something so huge. And you know what? It's actually true. Like 8,000 or 10,000 to someone else, it's not that much. But again, like, how do you reach that state where it's like it's actually not that much? You think of the afterlife, because the afterlife is like the highest thing. It's the biggest thing. There's nothing bigger than the afterlife in terms of living. Like, when you're connected to just wanting the afterlife, bro, like your life can be destroyed or it can be happy. Like, you can have like so much wealth in it, you'll still be good. Because what's happening too is that you're not attaching your heart to these things. It's not like when the money goes up, your happiness goes up, or when the money goes down, your happiness goes down. No, when the money goes down, you're still the same. You remain the same. When the money goes up, you remain the same. Nothing's different. And what's also happening is that now you're getting your value from something that's actually eternal, from a source that's eternal, not from something that's coming and going and something that's empty. No, like at this point, you're connected to the eternal. And again, all you have to do for this mindset shift is just put your attention towards the afterlife, and that's it. You'll also notice too, it's like everything that you do now is good. Like, you don't want to be doing bad things anymore, man. Because if you do bad things, well, the afterlife is going to be like 10 times worse. But when you put your afterlife, your aim, like, that's it. No more bad habits, man. And this is beautiful. Like, I wish for every Muslim, and by the way, even me, I wish to have this state like 24/7. Truly, if we have that, bro, that's crazy. And this is how like the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that's how they used to live, which is beautiful. Like, why do you think they created such a huge empire? Why do you think like that? Like, during that time, it was called the golden age of Islam. Because, bro, this is how they used to live. It's insane. Like, they used to be so rich. Why did we lose that? Why did we lose that, bro? But anyway, I hope this video was helpful because, bro, for me, this was super helpful.